awesome.
I still need to send you your digitals.
Yes.
Which I think I have downloaded. I should have downloaded to my laptop, but I'm just going to open this. I forgot how to download from Word Online File.
I want to dance with somebody. I want to be here with somebody. No. Don't mind me.
This is actually entertaining while I'm setting up, because I never thought a podcast would be this stressful, and I've done a couple.
Oh, dude, I've had so many mess ups on our first couple. Oh my gosh, I forgot to turn on the microphone for one video.
I'm too cheap for a mic right now.
The first half of it. Another video, the camera died in the middle of it, and I only had the audio. And then I had some other issues. I've had so many issues with podcasts. It's ridiculous. That's why I switched over to so many different things.
This is the first podcast that I've done for Project Lunar.
Okay.
I'm going to send you this sheet on a Discord. Tell me if it loads for you, because it's a long link. And if it does not, then I'll just take pictures and send them that way. Okay?
Okay.
Because that way, like, you could also just follow along. I also have some shameless plugs that I'll be saying at the end.
Okay.
So it's not just you sitting there not getting paid. You're still getting advertised.
Okay. Got it.
Try that. That should actually work. It should make you have to log in.
Yeah.
Do you have a Windows account?
Yes.
Okay, if it asks you to log in, use your Windows. It won't share it with me. Shouldn't share it with me. But what I meant by PowerPoint is I was planning on having a giant, because like why I chose a collaboration room is they have these giant screens, like 65-inch to 75-inch screens. And I had a PowerPoint made so people could follow along on which section we were at, be it uprising and that kind of stuff. I am as tall as I could get. Okay.
Yeah. It didn't work. Crap.
It didn't? You log in?
Yeah. Said sorry, but cannot find.
Then I'm going to
Walter State SharePoint. Let me try a different.
Take pictures and send them to you.
This will work.
And then I got to link stuff out because I'm trying to get this set up for you, and so we could do it. Why did you do sideways? I don't want sideways. Okay, we'll do it. There's picture 1.
Okay, wait, hang on. Wait, can you just email it to me?
Good point.
Email me the
link isn't going to work, so I could try emailing it. Do I even have it downloaded? I should, because I clicked download on it. And it didn't want to download for some odd reason.
I wonder if you send it to my email through the, what's it called? That'll work. Maybe that'll work. I don't know.
Probably not, because where it's got the Walter State link.
Never mind. No, never mind.
Where it's got the college name in the link.
Alrighty.
Okay, it would be ours. Tell me you're on the laptop.
I'm on my computer.
I know, I'm talking about the thing. Okay. Podcast read questions, which is how I have it named.
Okay.
Share.
Cool.
Could you work? Please do something. I've never been a fan of Microsoft, but it's all I got. I could share it to Outlook. Please enter a name or email address. What is your Outlook if you want to send it to me privately?
It is edgett@hotmail.com.
And then now it should. Your organization's policies don't allow you to share with these users.
All right. How many pages is it?
2.
Okay. Yeah, just send me the other one then. That's okay.
And then there's 1, and then after I send you this picture, I gotta link out and stop procrastinating.
No problem. Not a problem.
If it's blurry, my apologies. I will also be putting.
It's a little blurry, but I can read it.
Awesome. If you could read it, that's fine.
Yeah, I opened it up on my other monitor, so I can have both of them. So we'll get very cool.
Okay. Share. Control C. Facebook first, then Google Plus. Probably not, because that no longer exists. But people have asked me to exclusively send it to them as well, one being Kinsey, so I'm doing so for sure. Trying to be as quick as I can.
Oh, you're good.
Add to my story. Share. And then...
Man, these are some good questions.
Some of them I got from online and just reworded them. Most of them I actually came up with, though. Especially in the book section. Running a podcast is stressful. And then she won't join until about 4, so that's 10 minutes from now. She's probably going to also be my only viewer, but that's fine. Is there even a viewer question area? I forgot that one. Yeah, questions from the viewers.
Yes, there was.
That's all who I'm sending on Hangouts, Twitter, and then I'm going to start it. And if anyone joins later on, the playthrough is going to stay. And I'm going to edit it to where all these are in the description and all that. So they'll be able to watch it over and over again.
Awesome.
That's how I'm going to do these podcasts on this channel. But if it's a live stream on my personal channel, then I'm going to start clearing them out.
Okay. So are you going to go straight down the list, or are you just going to go all over the place? You jump around. How do you do it?
Probably going to shoot them out per section. So they'll be randomized, but per section. So for instance, random in Uprising. Then whenever we get to the book section, random about the book. And that's shut up fun. And that's the same with the closing questions. And then the plugs, because I'm going to point those out. I'm not going to say the link. I'll just say are in the description box below, stuff like that.
Gotcha, because there's a lot.
Yeah.
I do a lot of stuff.
I did not know you had a website.
Yeah. of an update.
Yes, I noticed
so
that.
Much missing on there right now.
Your Twitter wasn't there, and I was going to post an actual link instead of your Twitter handle, but you didn't have it on your not your website, your link tree. So I was like,
my Twitter's not on there?
I didn't see your Twitter. It was just, all I saw was the handle, and I got that from your actual Twitter page.
Okay, wait. I have to add that. It's probably because I'm like never on Twitter.
Probably.
Oh snap! It's not. Okay, yeah, I gotta add that. Oops. Thank you.
No problem. Okay, awesome. So we have. Do you want me for the Discord chat? Do you want me to lay it out in self promo or just announcements? Because it does consist of you.
Actually.
You got it. Let me copy it on my mobile because I am not typing Discord again. So I'm going to copy it onto my mobile, and then I should be able to put in announcements that way. Copy text. Llama Army. Announcements.
Give me a second. I think you can do it now. All right, you're good.
Thank you. I can't talk and type, so that's why it's quiet. And then paste. That should work. There we go. It's posted, so people will join whenever. We're going to go ahead and start.
Okay.
Whenever I edit, I'm going to have to trim that long 11 minutes, 12 minutes. Welcome to the first Loyal Smiles podcast. I am your host, Lunar Kitty, and today we have with us a YouTuber / author / streamer and TikTok star, Curtis Reid Edgett, also known as the Llama King. Before we get started, Reid, I want to thank you for sparing your time to talk to us today. Do you mind telling everyone watching today a little bit about yourself?
So, my name is Curtis Reid Edgett. I go by Reid. I am one of 3 boys in my family. I'm the middle son. I have a younger sister as well. I have been happily married for almost 5 years, actually. And me and Mel have been together for 10 years. So she's my high school sweetheart. And I'm also an author, like he said. I wrote my book called Chronicles of the Second Realm. And I do a lot of different things. That's about it. I'm just a well-rounded person.
Sounds like you got a lot. There are 2 people saying hi. Say hi to Buttery and Rob.
What's up, Buttery and Rob?
For this next few moments, I am going to ask you about your uprising and what made you want to do YouTube and that kind of stuff. So my first question is, what was your first dream career as a kid? If it was different than now, what made you change your mind about the career path?
Oh my gosh. So when I was younger, I actually wanted to be an astronaut. I thought it was going to be super cool. You get to float around in space. I didn't understand at that time that you just go up in the rocket and you didn't just float around space. You actually had to do stuff up there. And then I'm like, once I learned that, I was like, oh, I have to go collect rocks. And interesting. Okay. I have to have a really good grade. Dang it. Well, I'm out. So I tapped out. I was like, nope. Changed my mind at that point. I was like, I don't know. I was in 5th grade or something. I even went to space camp, which was hilarious. And after that, I was like, okay, maybe this isn't for me. But I went with my dad to space camp, and it was actually a really fun time. But after realizing that I was not the best student at school, I was like, okay, let's go a different route. So that kind of changed my mind for me.
That is a nice answer, because it was time when you were stressed about your old goals. If so, how did you deal with them?
I don't think I was ever stressed about my old goals. When I was younger, I was blissfully unaware of the world around me. I wasn't sheltered, but I was just, I just wanted to hang out with friends and be silly and stupid, do all these fun things. I didn't care about like my future at that point growing up. I think once I hit 17, 18, I started realizing what was going on, and a teacher inspired me to pursue business at that point. But when I was younger, I guess I just never really understood where I would be going with my life. So I don't think I was ever really stressed. I think I was blissfully unaware. I'll just leave it at that.
What do you wish you had known whenever you started out your original dream?
Oof. Like of being an astronaut?
Yes.
What was involved? Like, what did you actually have to do? They didn't really give us a job description at that age, so I was like, okay. But then I learned later that you had to be extremely smart and everything like that. So I was like, okay, maybe not. Not saying that I'm not intelligent. It's just that at that point I was like, I didn't really want to work hard on my grades. So I was a slacker in school. So
honestly, same.
Just being honest.
For question 4, this one is referring to your current career, which would refer to your author, your YouTubers, sometimes a musician, your TikTok stars, stuff like that. Who inspired you to choose the careers you are currently doing, and how are they inspiring?
So I have a couple people that really inspired me. I had a teacher called Miss Arlene Green. She was my college professor. She was brilliant in business, and she just, I don't know what she said. I don't know exactly what she said, but something clicked in me, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to start looking into business, marketing, and stuff like that. And I'm like, okay, I want to check this out. And it kind of led me down a path of entrepreneurship. And I really always wanted to open my own, I wanted to be my own boss, basically. And just going into that, I was like, okay, I could do this. I could open a cafe. I could do this. And then I figured out social media type stuff. I was like, okay, I'll check into this. And, it's just years of experience has taught me that there are multiple ways to get to where you want to be. And it's just picking a direction and going with it. So that was one of the people that really inspired me. But the second person is Gary V. I don't know if you guys know Gary Vaynerchuk. He really kicked me in the pants about a year and a half ago. I've been listening to his podcasts, and he's super motivational, very inspiring. Like, he's an entrepreneur himself. He took his family's business from 3 million to 60 million or something like that. And he is just a diehard Jets fan. And his motivation and his inspiration has definitely inspired me to go into more of a social media route and not really caring what people think of me. I knew I had a problem with that back then. So I was like, but he's been one of my big motivational mentors in my life, I believe. That's the best way to put it. But then obviously my parents have been huge supporters, and definitely inspiring to see how they've lived and everything. So my dad's an entrepreneur himself, and he owns his own business. So I grew up knowing that it's possible to own your own business. So those are the main people that inspire me.
And then for this next question, there could only be one person. And that is, who has been the biggest influence on your life? What lessons did that person teach you? But before you answer this, say hi to Kinsey. She just joined the stream.
Welcome.
And question 5 is, who has been the biggest influence on your life? What lessons did that person teach you?
Oh my gosh. That's a hard question. Dang. So I don't know if I can. I don't think I can just pick one. Out of those 3 people, well, 4 people technically. Man, I think I can't pick just one. I'm sorry. Going back to that, I've learned so many specific things from each person. So I think they're each valuable, and I don't think I'd be where I am right now without mentorship from multiple people. So I'm sorry, I can't pick one.
You don't have to pick one. That was just something that I was like, oh, well, that's a good question. The next question, I kind of messed up on the wording. It says, it's supposed to go, has your life been different than what you imagined?
Oh, yeah. Like, everyone wants to be further along in their life than where they are right now. Like, obviously, I would love to have certain things about my life to be changed. I'd like to have a extra couple zeros in the bank account, not negative zeros. But yeah, I think the more that I keep going and pushing, I will get to the place I want to be. But yeah.
For the next question is, have you ever wanted to quit on a project that you thought someone else would think of you differently for?
Oh yeah, actually I did. You remember when Vine was a thing?
I do. Yes.
Yeah. So Vine was basically pre-TikTok and Musical.ly.
And a whole lot better.
Short form video, and I was actually really scared to put myself out there with my videos. I was scared of what people would think of me, because I just did not know who I was as a person. I didn't know my identity. I didn't understand the value I could bring to people, or I was just scared of what other people thought of me. I didn't want to be weird. I didn't want to be that person people whispered about, like, oh my gosh, he's doing stupid videos online, and I've just outgrown that, which is amazing, because people can love it or hate it, and it doesn't affect me either way. I do love the positivity and everything, but the negative, it's so much easier to push out now.
And then going on to question 7, question 8 is, there someone in your life who convinced you to keep following your dreams and goals?
Oh yeah. Actually, my mom is a huge encourager. She loves my videos, and I think a lot like her. So when I talk to her, she's like, oh my gosh, I loved your roommate's video the other week. That's hilarious. And just the people around me, and obviously my wife as well. She's a great supporter, and she's been super helpful with helping me through these technical issues that I have on some of the videos, or learning how to do something, or rewriting certain materials. So she's been a big help as well.
And then you also pointed out in a couple questions ago that you would have loved to have a couple extra zeros in your bank account. Mm-hmm. This next question I'm going to ask, what was your first intention when you started YouTube? Why was this your intention?
So when I started YouTube, I was like, okay, I actually wanted to promote my book more, but I also wanted to have time to hang out with friends. I'm like, man, I'll admit, when you get to a certain age, you need to make excuses to hang out with your old friends from high school or stuff like that. So I was like, okay, I'm going to do a YouTube podcast, I think. And it worked great for a while until I had like multiple issues of like setting up, and I had to learn so much more, and it took a lot more time. But I still get to hang out with them. But I also wanted to promote my own stuff. It wasn't exactly what I wanted to do. I still do want to have conversations with people like this. I love podcasts like this. This is fun. But I think being able to hang out with people is probably the most fun for me. I enjoy the community that I have created on TikTok and Discord and all the other social medias that I'm on. So I actually really enjoy it.
Honestly, I find it a great community, very supportive of you.
Yes.
And of each other. And that's actually what is good about a lot of streamer communities and author communities. That's what you can't really find that much in J.K. Rowling's community.
Yeah.
For the last question of this section, have you ever had any conflict with your goals that you did not point out in the previous questions, or that I didn't ask about?
I've had setbacks on, I think, a lot of the social medias type things. It's a huge learning curve. Like, you have to figure out so many different things on how to use to post TikTok, and also on YouTube and Twitch and all these other things. So you have to find different ways to market yourself. People think it's, oh, cool, you're just sitting in front of a camera. No, there is so much in the background. I've spent hours and days figuring out like the algorithm and the trends that are happening on different social medias. It is a lot of work that people don't see. I guess they think it's easy, that I'm just posting videos or just turning on a camera. And I think those are the biggest conflicts with what I'm doing, is technical difficulties.
Which is exactly what was going on just like 5 seconds ago, because it just completely cut out. But then, yeah. Before we do the next section, this phone is at 20%. I'm going to go get a charger, and then we'll do the section on the book.
All right. Alrighty. So welcome everybody to this podcast. Hope you're having a wonderful day. If you aren't, get better. I don't know. Have a better day. Stay hydrated.
Sorry, everyone without music. Usually I have music playing when I leave the camera, but I didn't have it this time. Sorry, my chair wanted to be an idiot. Okay. You connected. I know you connected. My next questions are going to be about your book and how you came up with your book.
All right.
There we go. It is charging, so it should last till the end of the stream. The first question is, what made you want to write this book?
So, funny story. I am a super creative person, and when I get bored, my mind just wanders. So I was working a job, and it was basically a mindless job that I knew how to do, blindfolded and sleeping. So there was nothing going on at work, and I was doing my job, and my mind would wander, and I started thinking about different scenarios and characters in my head, and I'm like, oh, that would be cool. And I thought of some fight scenes, and I don't know, my mind just took off, and imagination just exploded. And I was like, you know what, I'm going to start writing this down. So on my lunch breaks, I would write it down, and I just continued writing it down in my phone, and just kept like compiling these different ones. And I'm like, oh, this is kind of like a book. So I'm like, okay, let's keep going. And I'd start making chapters, and within like a month or two, I was like, I had like a rough draft, like completely done, and then I went back in with more detail, and my wife looked at it and she checked it out. She's like, I like it. It's really cool. She would help me with the grammar and spell, and it evolved into this book that we have now.
I have not gotten a chance to read it, but guys, it's available on Amazon. Chronicles of the Second Realm, if I could speak English. Go check it out. It is $8, I want to say, for Kindle, and then $13 for the actual paper copy, or $12.99 if you want to be technical. I remembered the paper copy because I ran it by Mom. She said no. Only reason she said no is because she didn't want to order anything for my birthday. That's off topic.
Okay.
For the second question, hi Doc, welcome to the stream. For the second question of the book portion, a lot of books have a moral in them. Does your book have a story? If so, what is the moral of your story?
So, I think that, so actually, no, sorry, I don't think I know. I was trying to make a defined line of light versus dark, good versus evil, and that there's not a real gray area in that. And a lot of books, like, I won't point it out, but anyways, I just wanted that for mine. I wanted to have this, that people are not perfect, but they also fight on the good side. And obviously, people are not bad. People that are, I'm not doing a good job explaining this, but okay. Just light versus dark. We'll leave it at that right now.
Okay. And then can you tell the people at home who might be curious about wanting your book or wanting to read your book, what it's about?
So my book is about a boy's journey to save the world from an army of demons led by an evil sorcerer.
I thought it was going to be...
it's got comedy, it's got romance, it's got pop culture references and gamer references, all sorts of references. I reference a lot of stuff. It's got some cute little Easter eggs in there as well. So if you are into that type of stuff, you'll definitely see them.
I would ask details, but I don't want it spoiled, and the viewers probably don't. So for the last question on this section, question 4, what gave you the idea for the cover art and the title of your book, Chronicles of the Second Realm?
Oh my goodness. So, like I've said before, like my mind just wanders and daydreams. It just pops into my mind. I don't know how. And the person that did the art for me portrayed it really well. I was just like, this is what I want. And this is what they threw together. I was like, oh snap, this is amazing. So, but the name, it's kind of the center point of the book as well. So the second realm is like the in-between place of like heaven and earth. So, and that's the realm where angels and demons fight. And so that's why I was like the Chronicles of the Second Realm. So, and this is book 1 of hopefully a trilogy as well.
It would make a great series. More than a trilogy, but an entire like series.
Yeah, thank you.
And then are there any questions for the viewers that might be watching right now? I will give these next few moments for if there is a comment you guys want to comment, a question, and then I'll tell Reid what you guys comment. And just that's what these next few moments are. I will give 2 minutes. So whenever the timer hits 36 minutes, then I will sit there and go into the next one. Doc says, looking forward to reading your book.
Awesome. Thank you, Doc.
Just so you don't have to just like be bored and feel uncomfortable with the silence. No. You and I are just going to chat while they are working on the thing.
Okay, cool.
But real quick, let's do some shameless plugs. You guys ready? All this, I will be ordering it soon, hopefully. That's what Doc said. We are going to be because Reid accepted to do this, we will be sitting there and having all his plugs down in the description below. I will go back over the playbacks, and then I will also be linking everything. That would be probably his Discord. For sure, the link to Chronicles of the Second Realm, his Twitch, his YouTube, and his own merch. He has the Llama Army merch because that's his little clan thing. Because you got the Lunar and then you got the Llama Army.
Yes.
And then his website will be too. He should have a link to his Twitter now, so I won't have the handle. I will have his actual Twitter. And then, why did you just close on me? Sorry, Discord just closed. As well as his Instagram and his TikTok. Those will also be linked for you guys. He pointed out Vine, but Vine is dead. Let's get real. So we aren't going to be linking the Vine. It's sad because I was a small Viner. I was trying to pursue my future in Vine, but I failed. Never mind about the just chatting. It's already 36 minutes. Glad we got those plugs in. Closing questions. There might be people watching who want to pursue the same careers as you, but just don't feel good enough. Can you think of something to say to help them with following their dreams?
Yes. So do not care what other people think of you. Keep going. Keep pursuing what makes you happy. Seriously, do not let others' opinion of you define who you are. You are you. Do not let anyone else mold you into something that you're not. You do you, all right?
That is well said. You even used my motto at the end. Extra bonus points. Just kidding.
Did I really?
Yeah, you do. You happen to be one of my old merch lines with GWP. Awesome. And then the last question is, do you have any questions for me?
Yeah, what inspired you to do this?
To do podcasts. Funny question. Yes. I just happen to be a great subscriber to Ear Biscuits, which is Good Mythical Mornings. Thank you for getting the Instagram out there, Doc. Almost called you Doctor. But I was watching one of Shane Dawson's and Ear Biscuits podcasts at the same time, as well as there's a YouTube group that I recently started watching because they recently started doing podcasts. And that is, and I might even link these people because I'm also pointing them out in this podcast. So I might even give them shameless plugs, but this podcast is primarily based around the King of Llamas, also known as Reid Edgett. But I will be getting their links in the description below. Shane Dawson does podcasts. I listen to his all the time. As well as me going to Ear Biscuits, which is Good Mythical Mornings, also known as Rhett and Link's podcasts, which are great podcasts. They're completely random, but they're great. They've done a few with Mark Fishbach, also known as Markiplier. And then as well as Corey Shear and Aaron Doe started a podcast. And that was whenever I really wanted to pursue it. And then I thought, I don't have a mic set and I don't have a podcast studio, but I could still do a podcast just by interviewing people over phone or even in person, which more podcasts coming soon. This isn't Loyal Smiles Only podcast. That's why it's named Pilot, because this is going to be a series of podcasts. Probably the only one Reid is going to be in. Hopefully not. Hopefully in the future we get one where we have an office where he is, and then we interview him where he is, and he's physically here. That's later on in the future. We'll talk later on about that. But just the basic general basis of how I started was just watching other podcast channels and knowing the basics of videography and filmography and stuff like that. I was like, you know what? I could actually probably be successful with a podcast. And that's the same with how my friend Trevor has done. He's supposed to be here today, but he kind of had his teeth pulled and he's still in pain after 2 weeks later.
Oh, gosh.
Hopefully he'll be in next week's, guys. And we might actually end up talking about how fun the BCM is for that podcast if we cannot find anyone else. I'm currently in contact with Sam and Colby trying to get them to. But again, that's just how my basics of how I started.
Cool.
Do you have any more questions for me?
Not at this time.
Okay, well, then that does it for this podcast. Reid, thank you for almost said having me. This isn't your podcast.
You're welcome.
Thank you for giving people the time to come listen to your story on how you came to be, how you got known, stuff like that. Hopefully we could do podcasts like this in the future with you. And if we cannot, then that is upsetting, but not like upsetting to where I'm mad at you now. But hopefully we could have you attend more podcasts, be it just us feature you as we're just conversating in a podcast or another interview style podcast. This was the first interview style podcast. But we don't do just interview podcasts. This is now towards the viewers. We don't do just interview podcasts. We're planning on doing a whole lot other podcasts like challenge podcasts and stuff like that.
Cool.
We also are going to be doing storytime podcasts. But Reid probably has to go. So I'm going to let him say bye to you guys, and then I'm going to close this.
All right, bye guys. Thank you so much for joining us today. Have a great day. Stay hydrated, and we'll see you in the next video.
Peace.
Peace.
I'm going to end the call, Reid.
All right.
Thank you guys so much for joining this podcast. You heard Reid loud and clear. All his stuff will be in the description box below if YouTube is still able to do that. If not, we basically just pointed everything out, and you can see them on my social media because all those links will be on my social media. Thank you as well, Doc. You got the doctor here plugging everything. I'm going to go ahead and give you mod rights so you could actually send the links. Now you could actually link everything of his if I'm not able to put them in the description box below. Hope you guys enjoyed this. If you guys did, remember to like and subscribe because Trevor and I will be doing a podcast every single Friday. Hopefully Trevor will be here next Friday so you guys could actually meet him. I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.